I was studying.
Okay.
I started doing media production, so I did a City and Guilds course in media production to have a gateway to start. And then from there, I went to University of Salford, or Salford University. I did foundation degree in broadcast television. And after I finished that, then I continued to Liverpool John Moores University, and I did interactive media. I want to elaborate on that. People, you might hear interactive media, it is a BA honors. Many people don't understand what it is. It is because the course is a combination of all sorts of media facets together. For example, I was in the same class with people doing graphic design, people doing web, people doing animation and photography. So all of us, we are doing the same course, but we take the same lectures, the same researches we do, but we separate and do our own areas. Like I do TV, and others do their own areas, because we do. But what we do together as one is what we call the critical reflective studies, in our research. So you choose a topic, and then you do a research on it, and then you write your essay about that, and then you do a minor project. And then a major project comes in. Okay. So what I did was I did my minor project. I did a short promotional video in sport, and then in my major project I decided to do a cultural documentary, because my essay was based on documentary. So I did a cultural documentary, but it is also an observational documentary. It is not like the normal narrative type. Yeah. It is an observational one. Yeah.
Oh. What did you use? What kind of Gambian origin?
What I did was I used the Gambian artist. I was lucky that I found 2 Gambian kora players in Manchester, and then I contacted them and took them to a primary school, and then I allowed them to teach the children about the kora, about the Gambia, and I wrote a story about the song Malisajo. Okay. It wasn't very easy because most of our songs and our cultures, you can't find them anywhere. So I did a research, and luckily I picked up a story on YouTube. Jali Alajimbai, who used to be in Sweden, narrated that story. So I decided to write that, personalize it, so that the kids could understand it. So I handed that to the 2 kora players. So they trained the children, they taught them the song, and then the children drew cartoons and stuff like that, relating to the song, and then they created their own songs.
Mr. Issa Jallow, as a sports journalist in those days, and I believe you're still part of it, how do you see the Gambian sports?
Gambian sports, it has developed in one area, but there has been some other areas that needs improvement. I wouldn't be able to tell you more about it because I have been away from Gambian sport. What I can only say is the football bit has gone up to a certain stage, but it seems there has been a little bit of setback. I don't know what went wrong along the lines, but I believe the game in itself, in football I mean, could have been better than it is now.
Okay. In other countries, they used to say that sports start from the grassroots. If you look at sports in the Gambia, generally, most of the time they sit and wait until the person grows to a maturity before they put you into sports. How do you say that? Where do you think that we should improve?
That is the point. As you said, grassroots sport is what takes sports to where it is supposed to be. If you go to any country where you see sports developed, it is because the grassroots has been taken care of. In this country, I think for our sport to develop, we will have to focus again on primary school sport. When we were young, we used to see primary school sport every Independence Day. This can be recreated again. It used to be interesting, and it used to generate a lot of talent. And at the same time, before I left this country, there was a competition that used to be sponsored by Shell Marketing at the time. That was primary school football. I think these kind of competitions would develop sport from the grassroots. And from primary school stage to the secondary school, that is the inter-house competition. This will give all the sporting disciplines to be able to nurture talents that they needed to develop, and then to represent the country. Yeah.
Mr. Jallow, some time ago we saw you on BBC. You are part of this international journalists for the Olympics. How do you get there?
Well, my role at the Olympics actually was not as a journalist per se. You know, the Olympics is a very complex. The nature they cover the Olympics is very complex. First of all, the International Olympic Committee has its own broadcasting organization. It doesn't necessarily mean it has a broadcasting house. They have few staff, technicians, and some production team. But what they do is, when an Olympic is taking place in any country, instead of hiring 100% professionals to do all the jobs, the country that is hosting, they look at the media students, those who just finished and those who are still on it. They play the role of assistants. So there was a request that went round to different universities and colleges for students to apply to participate in the Olympics as camera assistants, as utilities, you know, as all sorts of places. So when we applied, we went on training, and then, you know, I was lucky that I was selected as part of the training. So I was a camera assistant and at the same time as a utility. Yeah. Utility, I was working with the OB van because I chose to do football simply because I don't know when other sports in this country will develop, so I can have experience in doing those kind of, for example, in swimming. If I had gone to swimming, I would not have the opportunity to practice that. But I know football is in the Gambia, so I decided to choose to go to football because that is what I want to do. So we did our training at West Ham Stadium, and then after that we were selected, and I was posted at Old Trafford Stadium to be a camera assistant and a utility. So I was working at the OB van with the directors and the other people there, and at the same time working with the camera operators. So we have a team of camera operators who are all British. And then we have technicians who come from different countries. For example, the OB van, or the scanner they call it, has 3 technicians from 3 different countries. So we all working together. So it is a fantastic opportunity for us all to interact and then, you know, learn from each other. So I think it was the best opportunity that ever came my way.
When you had that Gambia is to take part, what did you feel as a Gambian?
I was proud. Gambia had always taken part in the Olympics, but as participants, we take athletes, you know, in every Olympics. But me being part of that team was like,
for the first time in your life.
For the first time in my life, yeah. In that, it was a big challenge. Well, what I wanted to do that was to seize the opportunity to learn as much as I can, because I know that it is still the same process. I was straight from university. Now I had this opportunity to work in the biggest game in the world, and it was a fantastic opportunity, and I was really pleased that I had it.
When you were in GRTS, you do reporting, you do editing, you do news broadcasting, you do a lot. How do you cope with the 24 hours? And that time GRTS was really tight because you only have few staffs. That's during at the exchange. Yeah.
You see, I don't attribute that to myself. I count myself very lucky. I'll tell you why. There is no famous or great broadcaster journalist in this country that I have not worked with. I've worked with most of the big names that we hear here. I have, you know, if you go to Radio Gambia, then there was Boron Bosch, there was Peter Gomez, there was Malik Jeng. You know, so there were a lot of people that I have worked with. I have seen them do what they do. If you come to the newspaper industry, same thing. So this has given me a lot of opportunity to learn from people that have experience, people who've been there and have done it. So this is what actually gave me that multiple role that I play, and I enjoyed what I used to do, and because of that, you know, I tried to do. I wasn't perfect. It was because maybe I was I don't know, one in many, but I wasn't the best. I just saw myself somebody who's taking on a challenge and trying to do my best. Yeah.
During the 1994 revolution, you were at the Radio Gambia, and I think you were among the first people that spoke to His Excellency, Chief Professor Dr. Alhaji Yaya Jammeh. How did you see when you came back now in the Gambia after your studies? How did you see Yaya Jammeh and, you know, the development achievements he's trying to gain before 2020?
In 1994. It all happened when I was in Radio Gambia. I was the continuity announcer on